So I will tell you, for example, what is osteoclast and osteoblast. Okay. See, suppose the blood becomes acidic in nature. So when it will happen? There is a system called osteoclast. In that system, the bone receives the calcium from the blood and strengthen itself. The moment you start slowly moving, the synovial membrane will start giving you fluids. It will slowly taper down and come down. Likewise, you need to have some body good movement. Okay, some good movements are required. So what happens is, at that time, bone has also got something called sweating. Exercising in your life, the osteoclast is not going to take place, then your bone becomes brittle. This is what is osteoporosis, for which they keep giving you calcium supplements.
Welcome to Dr. C.K.Nandagopalan's YouTube channel. I'm your host Susan. In today's episode, we have picked the questions from the comment session asked by our viewers. These questions will be answered by our Dr. C.K.N., a renowned scientist, psychologist and the innovator of Nanir. Hi, Doctor.
Hi to you, Susan.
Today's topic is osteoporosis. Many of them have asked about osteoporosis and how to not become a victim of osteoporosis. Please explain, Doctor.
Okay, osteoporosis is also a subject which is recently picked up in the last 35 years rather, not before that much. There was no awareness on that. So osteoporosis is a terminology for which you need to understand osteoclast and osteoblast. Okay, there are two terminologies. So you basically been built with a structure of bones from your skull to the fingers in the legs, right? Yeah. So your bone structure is there. So this is basically made by calcium, right? Yes. Basically calcium. So we have, there are three major stuff in our body. One is calcium metabolism, other is sodium, and other is potassium. These are very basic. Calcium, sodium, and calcium metabolism, sodium metabolism, and potassium metabolism. So the most astonishing stuff that in modern science we are not able to understand is about the calcium part of the body. It's very difficult. Okay? They are trying very hard. So calcium is the basis on which the bone structure is there, and everything is built around the bone, right? Yes. So I will tell you, for example, what is osteoclast and osteoblast. Okay. See, suppose the blood becomes acidic in nature. Okay. What happens? Calcium is always an alkali material. There are calcium available in the blood, but that is not going to help. Because of calcium being available in the blood, still the acidic condition is gone, so pH value of the blood is varying. Okay. Blood cannot allow the pH value to vary. It will have to come back fast to that 7.4. So, you know what is a pH value, right? Potential hydrogen, they call it, right? So what happens now? Osteoblasts take place. So there is a system, you can go and beautifully they'll explain in the screen how exactly happening. It's a big beautiful stuff for you to see. You must see, every one of you guys should go and see that. It is available in the YouTube. What is osteoblast and what is osteoclast. In the osteoblast, there's a chain of reaction happens. So there's a blast, from that from calcium is drawn from the blood. That is a fresh calcium for it. So using that calcium, the plasma of the blood will recorrect itself and come to the pH value back again. So by doing so, what happens? The bone is losing a lot of calcium. Yeah. This is osteoporosis. Too much of osteoblast happens. Osteoclast is something, there's so much of calcium available in the blood. But the bone has to receive it, no? It has to, maintain its density. So, when it will happen? There is a system called osteoclast. In that system, the bone receives the calcium from the blood and strengthen itself. After all, so much of calcium is coming through your food and nutrition, right?
Yes.
This is what is happening. Now, for the osteoclast to happen, you have to have bodily movement. Okay. I'll tell you, somebody is always doing a hard, forget exercising and all that stuff. Somebody is doing physical hard work. Their bones and all will be strong. Always. You can understand that.
Yes.
Okay. Why, when you work hard, when there are enough bodily movements are there, body needs some amount of movement. I'll tell you what happens in one example I'll tell you. Say you go to sleep today at 10 o'clock. Get up in the morning, eat and go to sleep. Or if you even don't sleep, lie down. Afternoon you eat lunch, lie down. Evening you get up and your hip, your knee joints and all will be paining a little.
Right. That's right.
You've been lying down without any movement from last night 10 o'clock to this evening 6 o'clock. Why? Because in all the joints there is something called synovial membrane.
Synovial membrane.
Yeah. The synovial membrane will secrete synovial fluids. That is your lubricant.
Okay.
For that you need some movement. You've been lying down. So the synovial fluid is not produced. So you don't have lubricant now. So initially for some time, for half an hour or 1 hour, you will find a little bit of, bone aching, your knees, your hip and shoulders and all that. Moment you start slowly moving, the synovial membrane will start giving you fluids. It will slowly taper down and come down. Likewise, you need to have some body good movement. Okay, some good movements are required. So what happens is at that time, bone has also got something called sweating. When that happens only, the bone picks up the calcium from the environment. There is so much of calcium available. It has to pick up. That's called osteoclast, for which you need body movements. That is why they say at least for half an hour, 1 hour, go for walking. Now you know where things are coming and playing. And another stuff you have to understand here. So the entire calcium part of the body is controlled by parathyroid. There is a small gland called parathyroid next to your thyroid, and that has to work well. Okay, that has to work well. For all that you need good physical movements. If you are going to have too much of a sedentary lifestyle, okay, not moving your self for too many things, sitting in a place. There are people who sit in a place, they don't move, okay, they hardly move. Like a lazy life. You know what is laziness, right? Yes, they don't do any work, they don't cook, they don't, they just wear clothes, they'll take, the highest exercise they do is they take bath. Okay, that is the only thing, the highest exercise. That's not enough. Those are all regular routine what we do. More than that, the body requires some amount of thing, and we have not studied the hormonal part of the body in a much clearer manner. There are many hormones are produced inside which we don't know. We will be finding out little later in modern science. So osteoporosis happens when too much of acidic condition. The blood has to keep on making osteoblasts and drawing calcium from the bone, and you are not having enough of exercising in your life. The osteoclast is not going to take place. Then your bone becomes brittle. This is what is osteoporosis, for which they keep giving you calcium supplements. That's not going to help you. First of all, calcium supplements are not accepted well by the body, which you have drawn from outside. And calcium supplements have got a lot of contamination, like arsenic contamination is there, mercury contamination is there, nickel contamination is there, cadmium contamination is there. You can go and see all these things when Russell Jeffrey comes and explains why calcium supplement should not be given. Normally when these contaminations are there, body doesn't accept this calcium, it gets separated by the nephron cells in the urine. The best way to improve your calcium, if at all you want to think that the food and nutrition which gives you good calcium, is flat rice, awl. You can take a cup of awl, cooked one every day. Then sprouted moong dal. Then pineapples. Then dates. Then your unique calcium is available in curry leaf, which we have explained to you in a hair fall how you are supposed to, the methodology how to make a water out of it and drink. In our Tamil video we have explained. Yes. All these things gives you good calcium. But how much ever calcium that you are going to take it, human friendly, body is going to accept it and absorb it and all that stuff. To drive away your osteoporosis, you need to do some work. You need to do some exercise. So that your bone, too much of osteoblast would not, because as you work a lot and as you exercise a lot and all that, you sweat a lot and your acidic condition of the blood is always not there. Your pH value can be maintained. So the more of the pH value of the blood is maintained without the acidity part of it, osteoblood is lesser and lesser and lesser, osteoporosis will not be there. Thank you.
Doctor, I have a question, doctor. Is there a possibility of having too much calcium in the body?
It is not, if there's going to be variation in calcium and too much of calcium or lesser calcium and all that, then it has to be attributed to parathyroid.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you.
Hope we've answered the question here. We've come to the end of this episode. If you have any medical or psychological related question, please comment below, like, subscribe and share to the ones you care. Love you all.